Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow Room. And we're working backwards from the letter S, and I have a pile of S's here. Some really interesting stuff. It's actually mostly 20th century, or 20th century-ish, let's put it that way. We begin with, on Sterling Records here, Sterling has some Swiss stuff. Hermann Suter, who lived from 1870 to 1926, his Symphony in D minor, a piece of music that has absolutely nothing to recommend it. Well, that's not true. Almost nothing. It's derivative. It's sort of Bruckner, Strauss, Liszt, all sort of, it's not special. What can I tell you? It's a 44-minute long, 4-movement symphony. It has a fun little scherzo, which is marked Capriccio Militaresco a la Marcia. That's kind of fun. It really is. And you'll hear it and you probably will never want to listen to it again. I wish I could be more positive. I hang on to these things because, they're like one-offs. And I keep hoping someday I'm going to listen to it and get like really excited about it. Maybe I'm going to say, change my mind. I haven't. Not yet anyway. But you can give it a shot. This was written in 1914. And it's coupled with this guy, Hans Jemoli, his 3 pieces for orchestra from the lyric comedy Sein Vermächtnis, his legacy. They're charming, 16 minutes of charming music taken from a comic opera. And it sounds like comic opera music. The sound is not fabulous. The Moscow Symphony Orchestra under Adriano does its best with music it absolutely doesn't know. Sometimes the playing's a little scruffy. I admire Adriano very, very much because he does a lot of unusual repertoire and he does it with great conviction and he really knows his stuff. I mean, he's written to me about some of these things and I do. He deserves credit for bringing this music to life. Is this a lost masterpiece? No. Is it kind of fun to hear a late romantic conservative German symphony from Switzerland? Yes, you could do worse. It's all right. So Suter. Yeah, there we go. S-U-T-E-R, Suter, Hermann Suter. Then we've got, a whole pile of Lepo Sumera. Now, Lepo Sumera is one of the major Estonian composers, along with Arvo Pärt and Edward Tubin and Veo Tormis. And, Estonia really has produced some fabulous composers in the 20th century. It really has. And this is just so much fun to hear. Some of this stuff is just wonderful, but he only lived to be 50. He had a heart condition, and he died in the year 2000. His dates were 1950 to 2000. And Bis has a series of 4 discs here, which contain all of his symphonies. There's 6 of them, and you should get to know them. They're really quite interesting. His style went from sort of atonal through sort of polystylistic phase to a almost quasi-minimalist phase based on Estonian folk music, and it's all kind of synthesized in the 4th symphony, which may be his greatest of the 6. I'm not sure yet because I haven't had time to really digest them. But these 4 discs are lovely, and it's Bis, which means it's all in print. At least it is, as long as Bis is in control of Bis, which it's not quite anymore, so who knows. But on disc 1, we have symphonies 1, 2, and 3. Here they all are. Number 3 is a world premiere. And then on this next one has symphony number 4, which is called Sirena Borealis. Ooh, yes, from 1992. It's a marvelous work, 26 minutes and 38 seconds. This is conducted by Paavo Järvi. These are all Paavo Järvis. Early Paavo Järvi, actually, I guess. And his piano concerto, which is fun, and Musica Tenera with a triangle solo, a la Liszt's first piano concerto. Symphony number 5, and which is a big 1-movement sucker. Music for chamber orchestra from 1977, an earlier work, and In Memoriam. That was the piece that brought people. Brought his music to notice. 22 minutes. I think it was in memory of Heino Eller, the Estonian composer, or somebody else. If it wasn't Eller, it's really a good piece. Very, very good piece. And then we've got the cello concerto with David Geringas, and Musica Profana, and Symphony number 6, which begins with an Andante Furioso. Yeah, bang, crash. Good stuff. Very, very good composer. Well worth getting to know. And then we've got this other Antes edition Lepo Sumera film music disc. How many people know that? Oh, there's all kinds of film music he wrote. The Public Enemy, Hell, that's catchy. The Can-Can and the Tango from Hell. Well, that's novel. The Can-Can actually is from Hell, because when Offenbach wrote Orpheus of the Underworld, the Can-Can is the chorus of demons in Hell, so in case you didn't know that. Then we've got The Beggar, The Spring Fly, The Stolen Meeting, The Bird Watcher, The City, and The Beggar, and The War. Okay, so there we go. Nifty film music by Lepo Sumera. He was a busy guy. He was really at his best in his orchestral works. So these 5 discs are quite marvelous. They were keepers from the very beginning. And one of the most fun things I've ever talked about, unbelievably fun, Sugata. Isotaro Sugata. Pardon me, not Sugato. Sugata. Here it is. I've reviewed this. I've made a separate video about this. This is that marvelous disc. He's the most derivative Japanese composer that ever lived. He's amazing. He sounds like Stravinsky. He sounds like the Firebird played sideways, and Petrushka played upside down, and the Rite of Spring played underwater. And it's French, and it's Russian, and it's marvelous. It's just fun to listen to. You have his symphonic overture, his peaceful dance of 2 dragons. Sometimes he sounds like Hindemith. He sounds like everybody. The ballet music from The Rhythm of Life, and the Dancing Girl in the Orient from Sketches of the Desert, Suite in Oriental Style of 1941, which sounds like it could have written by Rimsky-Korsakov in 1871. Yes! This is with the Kanagawa Philharmonic Orchestra under Kazuhiko Komatsu. And like I said, I've made videos, and there's a review of this stuff in Classics Today. You got to hear this. This is so much fun if you know all of that other stuff. It really is. It's just incredibly enjoyable. So there you have it, my friends. Some really interesting things. And one not so interesting thing, I guess. So keep on listening, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.